Hey there and welcome to the Azalea Homestead. My name is Brianne. In today's video, I'm making 3 of our favorite breakfast recipes. These recipes are in my meal prep rotation because they're absolutely delicious. They come together quickly and they all use budget-friendly pantry staples. This first recipe is a ham and cheese casserole. I like to purchase whole or half hams when they're on sale and then break them down into smaller portions to use in multiple meals over time. Of course, you can use a prepackaged diced or a cubed ham. Whatever you have on hand will be just fine. You'll want about 32 ounces. And here I'm just mixing together 8 large eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1 medium onion that's been diced, our ham, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, about 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese, a teaspoon of pepper, a half teaspoon of garlic, and later we'll add about a cup or so of crushed saltine crackers. This cheese that you see here is actually block cheese that I purchased at Aldi. It was on sale in the 2-pound blocks, and I prefer to shred our own cheese. And so when I find deals like that, I like to kind of stock up on them, and I'll store those in the freezer. And when I'm ready to use them, then I'll use my KitchenAid with a shredding attachment to shred that cheese. And then I add just maybe a 1/4 teaspoon or so of cornstarch to the bag and shake it, and that will help prevent it from caking together. So there's our casserole, and we're going to put that into our preheated 350-degree oven, and we're going to bake that for about 20 minutes or so. We don't want it completely cooked through. You can see here our eggs are still kind of runny there. And this is when we're going to add our crushed saltine crackers. And once we put our crackers on the top, then we're just going to bake that for an additional 15 or 20 minutes or so. This is a great recipe for like Christmas Eve or holidays when you're up early the next morning, or for potlucks, really anything, because it's so easy to make ahead and uses such limited ingredients, but it's very tasty. It's one of our family favorites. This recipe also freezes very well. I would probably, I have frozen this both ways, with the crackers and without the crackers. I would probably recommend freezing it without the cracker crust on top, and then when you're ready to bake it, maybe bake it through for about 20 minutes and then add your cracker topping, and then bake it again for another 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes those crackers can get kind of mushy in the freezer. And here is that casserole all done. You can see it has a nice crispy top with those crackers. It's nice and cheesy on top and throughout. Those eggs are nice and fluffy. Lots of great flavor there. All right, this next recipe is also, like I said, one of our favorites. This is peach butter waffles. And this recipe came about when I had a lot of peach butter that we needed to get through before we made any more. And so I came up with this recipe and thought it would be a great way to incorporate flavor um, while using something that we already had on hand. So here I am just creating about a half a cup of brown sugar, dark brown sugar. That's not something I typically purchase anymore. I usually just add my sugar and a little bit of molasses and I'll mix that together. So that's what I'm doing here. And for this recipe, you'll need 4 cups of flour. I'm just using standard organic all-purpose flour. 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons baking soda, a quarter teaspoon of salt, a stick of melted butter, of course our sugar, our brown sugar, 2 large eggs, a cup of buttermilk, a half a cup of homemade peach butter, a tablespoon of homemade peach extract. I'm actually out of that right now, so I'm just using my homemade vanilla. And then if you would like to stir in peaches, you can do that. I have in that bowl there some freeze-dried peaches. And so I have about maybe a cup and a half or so of those freeze-dried peaches, and I'm just letting them kind of sit in some water until I'm ready to use them, and that will help them to reconstitute. And I'm just stopping to mix our batter about halfway through, making sure everything is mixing well. And then I will fold in those rehydrated peach slices. You could also make this recipe using apple butter. That would be really delicious as well. And I actually have an apple cinnamon extract. It's a homemade apple cinnamon extract that is delicious, and that would be really good. I think I might have to try that actually. So here I'm just using my Krups waffle maker. This recipe, for this particular waffle maker that I have, I get 16 individual waffles. So 4 sets of 4 there. Obviously the yield may vary depending on the type and the size of the waffle maker that you're going to use. And you can see they have that nice golden peach color. And they will continue to crisp up as they sit. You can see here they have a nice crispiness to them there. And these waffles freeze great. They're great for busy mornings. Sometimes I need a quick breakfast on my way to work, and I will pop one of these in the toaster oven. And here I have it drizzled with more peach butter, a little bit of maple syrup, and a small dollop of whipped cream. And here we are making my girl's favorite. It is chocolate chip pancakes. When my girls were toddlers, I would often make different flavors of pancakes that were the silver dollar size. That's perfect size for toddlers, not a lot of waste there. And because they can be frozen, it makes it super convenient for a quick breakfast or snack, especially during those busy toddler years. Of course, chocolate chip waffles were their favorite and remain so now, even though they are teenagers. And for this recipe, you'll need 4 cups all-purpose flour, 3 teaspoons of sugar, a tablespoon baking soda, 2 teaspoons baking powder, a quarter teaspoon of salt, 4 large eggs, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, buttermilk, about 3 cups of buttermilk there, half a cup of vegetable oil or some kind of butter, and then about a cup or so of chocolate chips. And all of these recipes can be found over on our blog, theazaleahomestead.com, and we share recipes, food preservation, gardening, and homeschooling. We also share printables. We have lots of homeschool printables and calendar printables, things like that. So you can find that all on our website, theazaleahomestead.com. And as I mentioned, these recipes are super budget friendly. So no matter the budget, you can make these really affordably, even by leaving out the chocolate chips or leaving out the peaches. This is still really affordable recipes. And if you're interested in affordable recipes and content like this, we do ask that you like and subscribe to our channel. We share videos like this about once a week. And as I mentioned, we share lots of content over on our blog. And you can see back there our stove. It's a Wolf stove. I believe it is from the 90s. It was part of the house when we bought it, so I'm not entirely sure the year on it, but when I have done a search in the past, all I can find are those models in the 90s. And here it has a griddle next to the actual stove, so that's what I'm going to be using to make our pancakes today. And sometimes it can be kind of tricky to get that heat just right, but I think that's true even with a skillet or an electric griddle. So, you know, when you're doing that first batch, sometimes you might want to try with just 1 or 2 and make sure that the heat is right. And I forgot my melted butter, so I added that really quickly. And this is the ladle I typically use. It came with our utensil set as part of like the serveware, and I find that to be just the perfect size. Usually about a scoop, maybe a scoop and a half, tends to be the perfect amount for us. We would love to hear from you down in the comments below if there's something that you are interested in or have questions about, or a recipe that you would like to see us film that just hasn't made it onto YouTube yet. Check out our blog and let us know which of those recipes you'd like to see from us. And until then, bye for now, friends.